I'm Davey Wavey, creator of Himeros.tv, and I'm joined by sex coach Finn Deerhart and my best friend Matthew Thomas. And today we're talking about gay sex, and in particular, puppy play.
Mm.
So if you're a good boy, let's get started.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a good boy?
I'm a good boy.
You a good boy?
Mm-hmm. I'm good for the treats.
Himeros Live is sponsored by Himeros.tv, the erotic website to enhance your experience of sex and sexuality. Created by Davey Wavey, that's me. We upload erotic videos to help you have the best sex of your life and then discuss them on this podcast. Go to Himeros.tv/pod to save 20% off your membership, which is as little as 40 cents per day. You'll get instant access to our erotic library of life-changing, soul-nourishing, hole-quenching, cock-throbbing videos that inspire deeper connections, sexual exploration, and increased pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Visit Himeros.tv/pod and save 20%.
She has got the script down.
She does.
You are ready today.
Girl, what is the best sex of your life worth to you? I mean, come on. How much money do you spend on stupid things?
Right.
Coffee, Amazon.com, health insurance, mortgage payments. Really? Anyway, hey guys, nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, you too.
Any updates? What's going on?
Finn?
Well, there's so much going on. I filmed the other day with my business partner. We're starting an online series for boyfriends that are having a hard time bringing their fuck into their relationship if it's gotten like real stale and sweet and not expressive. So we're starting an online course.
What are you calling it?
The online course we haven't actually. I think Throb is the name.
Ooh.
A lot of guys that come to us are like, we really trust each other and we love each other, and then we don't know how to really express anymore the parts of ourselves that we want, that mystic sex out there. So
what about bringing fuck back? Like bringing sexy back? No.
Yeah, actually the slogan for it is put the fuck back in your relationship.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm stoked. So it was fun. We played in the studio for a couple hours and recorded, and we're putting things together. So
you're also in the midst of writing some Himeros.tv concepts for our October shoot.
Yeah, and I had a really awesome dream last night where I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, I gotta write that down. So I was getting up and jotting notes.
I sent Matt a picture yesterday because I was out actually scouting locations for October, and we were looking at sets here in Palm Springs, and one of the locations, it was this picture of these bunk beds with the blue background. I thought Matt would like get what it is instantly. It's not so much. It's the set for FamilyDick.com. Have you ever seen the Family Dick stuff?
No.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's pretty specific, but it's like daddy son porn, but it's like almost, it's totally uncomfortable. But it's like, like there's this video where he's like, oh, are you wearing your big boy underwear? Like it's kind of inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I think it sounds exciting, actually, though. No, because that's archetypal, and we all, even though if it's uncomfortable, we kind of can all, I think, relate to it in some way.
Yeah. Well, this series is not sponsored by FamilyDick.com, so.
Are you going to use that set, location?
No. Well, we might use the location, but we're not going to use the like bunk beds.
I'm like, tell me more about that.
Yeah. No. Well, I guess to give a little bit of it away, I was trying to find a location that has like institutional style bathrooms because we're doing some glory hole shit, and I don't want to just do like a glory hole like, you know, like that someone hangs in their hallway. Like I want to do the glory hole that guys remember from like the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, it's really symbolic. It's gonna be big.
Yeah. So that was the deal. Matt, what's new with you?
Not a thing. It's the same old over here. I was just working like crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No, there's really nothing going on. Like I'm at this golf resort for my company, and I mean, this podcast is a breath of fresh air because I was trying to find a way that I can get away. So I was like, I just have something else I have to do. Sorry.
Were they like, what is it? What is it?
None of your business. Goodbye.
You're like, oh, I need to go discuss puppy play.
Exactly. So,
cool. Yeah. Well, Well, I'm good. Thanks for asking, everyone.
How?
Jesus.
We're waiting to get to ask because it's special.
Yeah.
You're up to stuff.
Thanks. Okay. Yeah, you're excused.
Well, you're back in Palm Springs.
I am in Palm Springs, and tomorrow I'm leaving for Big Bear. We're doing a 3-day shoot up there with, let me see if I can get this right, Dalton Briggs, Diego Sands, Cade Maddox, and Logan Cross. So those are the 4 models that we're working with, and it's all concepts that were developed by Dr. Jalen Ricks, who's a sexologist here in Palm Springs. And it's super hot videos. We're going up into the mountains, like lumberjacks. We're gonna.
Oh yay!
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And also, I just found out this week that Himeros.tv was nominated as Best Niche Studio for the Straight Up Gay Porn Awards.
Oh shit!
It's like an Oscar, basically.
That's really cool.
Yeah, congratulations.
The Straight Up Gay Porn Awards.
That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, well, thank you guys for being a part of it, because, you guys breathe the heart and soul into what we do. Heart, soul, and whole. All right, so shall we dive in with pup play? All right. So this week we uploaded a video called Pup Play. And I guess for people that are unfamiliar with Pup Play, I would describe it as it's like a headspace that you get into where one of the guys emulates a puppy and the other guy emulates a handler. And it doesn't need to be sexual, the interactions, but it can be. It's playful, it's fun. It can have a sexual flavor. It often does. It's kind of a dynamic that you would see between, like, if you go to a dog park and watch a dog and their owner, like, that's the dynamic that plays out in pup play scenes. So the video that we filmed has Wyndham Gold as our pup, who I think is a very cute pup, by the way. Thought he did a good job. And the video opens with him kind of getting his gear on. He has you don't need a lot of gear for pup play, but in our video, we really kind of went full out. So he had the hood on, the paws, the knee pads, because you're walking around on your knees, so those help. And my favorite, which was a butt plug tail, which was initially how we were going to open the video, with just this butt plug tail, wagging back and forth. And then Peter Pounder is the handler. And I think watching them, it's kind of this very I don't know, it's like a boy and his dog, the pup is kind of ripping his clothes off, and it's very innocent and sweet until he then starts pushing the butt plug in and out of the pup, and the puppy jerks off and comes all over the place. So I guess my first question is, did you guys find the sexualization of a boy and his dog disturbing? Were you into it? Combination of both?
I mean, no. Okay, so no, I would never put down what anybody is into. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I would just say it wasn't for me. It just felt. I mean, I actually tried to put myself in that situation of being the handler, not being the pup, and just thinking could I maybe get into this? Could I give this a try? And I mean, the person that was playing the puppy just was bouncing around and jumping all around, and I was just like, no, can't do this. Sorry, you just calm down. just calm down.
Could you do the handler though? Could you be that person?
If that's what my partner was into, yes, I could do it. But would it turn me on? I guess without really doing it with someone that I care about, I don't think it would. I would say no, it probably wouldn't.
Okay. Yeah. And it probably wouldn't for a lot of people. So I think that's a fair, a fair assessment. Finn, what was it disturbing for you? Were you into it? What was going on?
No, it's not disturbing. Very few things are disturbing to me personally. I loved it, actually. And I was surprised that I loved it. My first reaction truly when I saw it coming up was oh, yeah. And I've had some experience with puppy stuff in the past. That wasn't my favorite interactions I've had. But when I watched the video, I was really turned on. And I was like, oh my God, I want a puppy. I totally want a puppy. It made me like breathe hard a little bit. I was like, yeah, fucking rub his belly and just getting all into it. And I never let myself just really have permission to like it in that way. And then I started analyzing it on all kinds of other levels, you know, through like the scope of like our minds. And I think you said that, you know, you said it's not sexual necessarily. And to me, that means like maybe like genitals interacting or like something, but it could be, but just erotic. Because sometimes the erotic doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. And I think a lot of us, it overlays with these layers from childhood too, like, you know, dogs running around with big sexy balls and stuff. It's like kids are like really curious about all that stuff. And I see a lot of that in San Francisco, especially at Folsom Street Fair, like big packs of puppies and just, yeah, it brings back like a lot of stuff about childhood. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, my ex-boyfriend and I, when we were in, I don't know, maybe this is like 4 years ago, we were in New Orleans for, I think, a week during the summer. And he really likes cats. And I don't remember like what brought it on, but I kind of just like got up on the side of the bed and I was like, meow, meow, and just started like meowing at him. And we were like hissing and we just kind of started playing cats with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I like can't believe I'm even like talking about this on here, but like see Matt's face.
I know, I'm looking at Matt's face. You got like poker face over there. Come on.
Yeah. Matt, you know this, right? You know that we used to play cat.
I knew you used to play cat. I didn't know that I know that you played cat. You played cat.
Well, for us, it was never like, we weren't like fucking each other while like, I'm like bright red. We weren't like fucking each other while playing cat. If we were, okay, awesome. But we didn't take it there. So for me, I'm like kind of watching this. I'm like, I feel like I could kind of fall into pup play pretty easily. Like it's not a very big step up from that.
I'm remembering the video that you sent me of you pretending to be a cat now.
Do you still have this video?
Oh, I have the video. Hold on a second. Let me get my phone.
She's going to get her receipts.
Oh, wow. I know. Always proving something.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's disturbing.
You know, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I loved it. And I was thinking about, it makes total sense to me around control. There's a lot around control that helps people moderate a sense of safety and sexuality. And like, it's a playful way to access like the feeling of wanting to be controlled. I guess it just works for some people in a way that other styles of, working with boundaries and rules and who gets to decide, it's a playful way to play with control.
Yeah, and it's I think it's less scary than some of the other forms of like play with control. Like it's I think the entry barrier is really low, and we'll get into that because it's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video. But going back to pup play experiences, you had mentioned, Finn, that you've had some.
Yeah, I have. It was like it's like foisted upon me in the moment. It was one of those things where I was just like, I don't want to play with your puppy, and then the handler's like, smell Finn's crotch, to pull his pants down, and I was like, okay, and I kind of went along with it a little bit, and then they were trying to get me involved in some more extensive play, and that happened a couple of times, and I was like, I don't want your puppy on me.
Like, stop humping my leg.
Yeah, but I actually, to be fair, I like allowed it to go on for a certain amount of time, and then this puppy did suck my dick a little bit. Like,
Matt,
okay, you're fine.
Matt, are you scrolling through your phone?
I am, and I swear to God, if I die, you just better break my phone. Like, no one had better go through this thing. Have you ever flipped through our text messages before?
No.
Or just the pictures?
What is it? It's just like
nasty shit. Some nasty shit.
And I probably said this to you like 2 years ago. So
yeah, there's a whole lot of shit to scroll through. Whole lot of dicks, whole lot of ass, whole lot of other shit.
So I had a puppy play experience. So I had a minor one. I used to co-host the San Francisco Pride coverage for Clear Channel. They used to broadcast it each year, and that was the first time I was introduced to it because they had a puppy contingent leave it to San Francisco to have a puppy contingent in their parade. And so one of the puppies came up to me like while we were on air, and I wasn't really sure like what was going on or how to interact with him, so I kind of just like scratched him behind his ears. Fast forward to Matt, which Pride were we in Texas last year?
Houston
Pride. I hooked up with a guy in my hotel room who on his Grindr profile identified as a puppy.
Oh, I definitely didn't know this.
Yeah. And I guess I didn't realize that in his picture, I think he was in some of his gear. And when he came over into my room, he wasn't wearing it, but I didn't realize that like it was really going to be like a role-playing scene. So he kind of like bounced like onto my bed and was like jumping around and like stuck his like ass up and was like kind of like wagging his like invisible tail. But he had a really nice, I was kind of like into it. So I ate his ass and I fucked him. And when I was fucking him, I like leaned over into his ears. I was like, let's make this man's dreams come true. Like I was like, you good boy, you fucking good boy. And he's just like, like while I was fucking him, and it was hot. Like it was. Oh my God, guys! I just had a hummingbird. I just installed a hummingbird feeder yesterday, and this is the first. I've been like watching it all day, and a hummingbird just ate from it.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
No one cares.
No, but you know, in animal medicine, they symbolize awakening.
All right. Well, I've been awakened, girl. Matt, did you find this yet?
There's a whole lot of shit to scroll through. Okay.
All right.
No. I'll find it later. We'll find it later.
We also did, by the way, a entire puppy play tutorial for people that are actually like interested in learning more. It's on the Himeros TV YouTube channel. It's with Jeremy Feist, who's a sex educator from Toronto. And he talked us through the process. His biggest advice was, I remember this, Sam was the guy that was in the video with him. And Sam is this like really like sexy tattooed guy. And he said to Sam, like, that dogs only think about the now. So if you want to get into a pup mind space, you just focus on what's like in front of you immediately. And there's something like that extends beyond sex. It's like it's almost like a meditative practice then to like, because as humans we're always kind of thinking about either the past or we're thinking about what's to come. But as a puppy, you can really just be present.
Yeah, and I think that to me, that's the whole goal in sex anyway, is to really shed everything and be super present for the experience. It's a cool route to get there.
Yeah. So I guess the question is like, why did we choose to make this video? We wanted to do some stuff that played around with kink. The reason we did this was in connecting with Jeremy. He was saying that pup play is it's popular for young queer people. It's a great entry point into kink because it's fun. It's cheap. You don't need any gear for it. And really, like, I think above and beyond anything else, this is a video about sexual exploration. It's like kind of like trying new things. And I like to say that like, I can't promise that you're going to enjoy everything that you try, but I can promise that you will learn a lot about your life, your sex, yourself kind of in the process. So even if you don't like pup play, or even if you don't want to try that, it's my hope that seeing this video inspires you to try something new, to step outside your boundaries. That's all. That's all.
Just break open.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, it doesn't matter truly. It's like if I like it, I didn't like it. Like you were saying, it's like, well, what does it mean to me? What did I learn in the process? That's key.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't like it, there's a lot of really useful information and an experience that you don't like.
Well, I used to go to a sex therapist when I was in my last relationship. And he said to us, we were in an open relationship, and he said to us, why don't you try being monogamous for, I think we did it for like 3 months. It was like the most miserable 3 months of my life. But he said again, he was like, I can't promise you like it, but I will promise that you'll learn a lot about it. And we did. I learned that I don't ever want to be at least at this point in my life, want to be in a monogamous relationship, and how having sex with other people brings more like creativity and inspiration and sexual energy into my life. So yeah, it was really valuable advice. Any other thoughts about pup play?
I'm out.
No, I liked it. It was good.
All right. Well, that's great. We have some meaty questions to get to. If you guys at home have questions that you want us to answer on air, then send them to Davey, that's Davey, at daveywavey.tv. All right. So question number 1. I haven't had sex with my boyfriend in any way in months. I think it's been about 8 months. I think we'd be better friends than boyfriends, but I'm worried that that he's the best I can do if I break up with him. I'm basically saying that I'm going to live my life alone. I honestly don't know how to end it. And if I do end it, what's going to happen? Nothing? Will we just be friends? Will I just be going to the movies with him forever? Will there be no sort of resolution? I hope this isn't too crazy for you. I'm completely lost and don't know who to turn to. Best, Mickey.
There's a lot to take apart from that.
Yeah.
I mean, first, I really feel bad for him that he feels torn like that, but I mean, I feel like it sounds like his mind is already made up and he knows what he has to do. He's just afraid to make the decision because he doesn't know what the outcome is. But I mean, why think worst case scenario? Like on the opposite side of the fear of making this decision could be the best thing that's ever happened to you. Why does it have to be the worst thing? You know?
Right, because he is assuming the worst. He's assuming that if they break up, he's going to be alone for the rest of his life. I mean, when I heard that, I was also thinking like, well, like, I don't know. Like I've recently made a decision in my life, like romantically with some of the guys I've been spending time with, that like, if the effort isn't reciprocated, like if I'm putting in 100% and I'm not getting that back, that's someone that I don't really want to cultivate a relationship with. And like a lot of kind of guys in my life have just kind of fallen off. And it means that I do spend a lot more time alone. But like, I don't think that that's like, there are moments where I do get lonely, but I think that there's like a value in like being okay spending time with yourself. Like that's like an important thing to do.
It's huge. If you're in business a lot, you might hear this phrase like be the client you want to attract or be like the client you want to attract. And it's the same thing when it comes to relationships. Like if it's like you're making space for something to come along that is more deeply fulfilling by honoring a deep sense of truth, even if it's like scary or painful. So, and to what you were saying, Davey, and also to the question, just like feel compassionate about this guy, feeling like there's no options. But yeah, the most important thing is that you honor yourself, because you don't know, even making an assertion of what you want and can maybe even shift his behavior. Just, you know, the stalemate would move if you take the step towards yourself.
Yeah. He also mentioned that like if they like break up, they're just going to be friends forever and go to the movies for like, to me, it sounds like that's what you're already doing. Like,
yeah,
like you're just going to drop the label. And I think like if you do continue to be, you said you think that you're better friends than boyfriends, then like continue to have this person in your life as a friend. Like I'm friends with a lot of guys that I dated, and like we still add a lot to each other's lives. So you may not be alone if you continue that friendship. And I think the connection that we sometimes crave in hookups and sex, we can also get through other meaningful interactions. Like as I mentioned, I have a lot more time that I'm by myself at night instead of like going out on dates or spending time with boys. But like I'm going to get involved with the LGBT center here and like do some volunteering, and some of those connections will also feel very fulfilling, I suspect. Yeah. So
yeah. He should ask for what he wants. He has to tell him how he feels. And I would assume that on some level, his boyfriend must feel the same way. I mean, they're not intimate, but they're still spending time together. I'm sure on some level he feels some of the distance too, but he needs to get over his fear of just opening the door to the conversation. And you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe they won't be friends. Maybe they won't go to the movies. Maybe that's possible, but that frees up his time to do something else that he's maybe not done before that he can fill his time with. So
yeah.
True. And just even naming it and saying it out loud, like you have already in this question, is already starting the process. You're like,
yeah, exactly.
You're in it by voicing it.
I also feel like I'm afraid to be alone is a bad reason to continue to see someone.
Absolutely.
or at least a disempowered reason. Like that's not a reason to continue a relationship. Okay. So Mickey, I hope that helps. Next question. I'm going to make the font bigger here, girl. These eyes are getting old. I'm like squinting to read this. All right. Thank you so much, Davey, for continuing to grow your platform and increasing the time that you guys talk on the podcast. I love the content of Spin the Bottle. On to my question. Davey, I have abstained from sexual penetration since my mid-20s for the last 7 years. It started out as a joke and a dare for the first several years, and then it morphed into a fear-based decision, steeped in the fears around sexually transmitted diseases and my body image. I'm a thick boy now, when I attempted to start again. Fortunately, within the last 3 years, I have been easing back into activities that I find more interesting, but would not have in my former sexual years, like sucking cock more and wanting to try other interesting things. Currently, I move forward each day with the intent to meet people who want to connect energetically while sexually engaging each other in unique ways. What advice do you have for someone like me who's on the path to sexual rediscovery? Boom.
Well, he asked you first.
It's a very articulate question.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm certainly like not an expert. Like I think it sounds like you're doing exactly what you need to be doing to have a sexual rediscovery. It sounds like you're saying yes to a lot of things and engaging with guys in unique ways. And I think that's really what it's about. Anyone else?
I like that question, and I like how you're taking steps in a way that's manageable for you. And I also, the intro to the question, something that I felt was important maybe is the fear around penetration and STIs and everything, and you mentioned body image, that there may be some stuff just to unpack there, because there are so many ways to feel safe around that that are out there. So I think that often those kinds of fears are in place of another deeper fear, maybe just exploring a little bit around shame and body issues and how that shows up and what you allow yourself to feel and what you allow yourself not to feel.
Yeah,
no, I think you both are 100% on the spot with it. And at the end of the day, what he's doing, as he said, is with intent of meeting specific people that have a specific type of energy that make him feel good. I think he should stay on that path and keep doing it. I don't think he should change a thing. And I think in the process of that, he's probably having better experiences than he's ever had before. So,
yeah. All right. Question number 3. This is a juicy one.
Go.
How can I get my boyfriend to choose me over masturbation?
Wow.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be a choice?
Yeah, and that's a big question. Really, it's a short question, but it's a lot of content in that question.
It is.
This is something I've heard like straight women complain about. Like I've heard of straight women who have like basically forbidden their boyfriends from jerking off because they're it almost feels like it's a form of like cheating on them. And even when I was in a relationship, like this would kind of come up, like if I was spending a lot of time with my ex. I mean, he was living with me for an entire summer. Like, I think for me, like jerking off isn't just about like to me, it's not like, okay, I'm either going to jerk off or I'm going to have sex. It's like sometimes jerking off is just a really nice way to spend time with myself and like pleasure myself and ways that I like to be touched and have like some alone time and recharge. And you don't always want to have sex with another person at a given moment that you want to jerk off. And to me, that's not like an assessment on like, I don't like that person or I don't want to be with that person. Like, it's just, I just want to jerk off. Like, it's not about them at all, you know?
Yeah.
But it's hard, I think, too, being on the receiving end of that when you want intimacy with your partner. Like, of course, we don't know the whole story behind this, but imagine for a second that you want intimacy and your partner's like, well, I already jerked off, and they didn't want to wait for you, or they'd rather get you off and then go on about their day and jerk off by themselves later and not come with you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's tough.
I feel like I can relate to, there's like the answer that I would give from a knowledge perspective, and then the answer that I would give from just personal experience. Like, I've been in that situation before, and it does feel, I think, it almost felt scary to me. Like, why won't he want me? Why, like, and there's a part of me that still gets like jealous if my partner like whacks off. Like, I can witness that and go, oh, that's just a part of me that because I want his load, or I don't want to be left out. But it's just like this old little young part of me. And so it's all about me, but also to the relationship, because we don't know what's going on in the relationship. It is complex, and the boyfriend might, he might feel things that are disconnected from you right now and chooses that. Or it could just be a way, like Davey said, for him to spend time with himself. Like, it's so we don't know what the boyfriend's doing, but to look at it with like a compassionate scope, like, maybe there's something that he needs in that time that he can't get with, the boyfriend. So it's just an opportunity to communicate more deeply and not put pressure on the boyfriend, because that's going to really make sure that you don't get chosen, I think. Right. That's what happened for me.
Yeah. Okay. And to Matt's point, like, I think we don't know what's going on here. If it's just, there's some instances where the boyfriend's jerking off or if it's really like they're not having sex because the boyfriend only jerks off and then says makes himself sexually unavailable. So it's there's kind of a different, probably a different response to each of those. Finn, have you ever been like in a situation where you've like dated a guy and like, do you live with your partner now?
Mm-hmm.
And like, do you like make time for each other to jerk off or?
Yeah, actually, it's a great question. So, it's been a thing where I've had to learn about that a little bit in this partnership, because of that part of me. Like, this partnership that I'm in is really so fulfilling, and it's brought up a lot of my own healing process. And one of the things that came up was like, I wanted to possess him all the time. And yeah, if he would jerk off and come, I would be like, oh, like I waited around and I wanted his load, or I just have this idea, but it's like a scarcity paradigm. Like, that load was it. And like, now we're not going to have sex. And then I would bring that energy of irritation to it. And then he would be like, yeah, I don't really want to hook up with you. And, it's been a learning process over time for me just to like, and now I don't really think of it that way. I like, if he gets horny and whacks off, I get excited. And I was like, well, what do you think about? And like, I self-pleasure every day. And I often don't come when I do that because I want to build up energy and hold on to it for the time that I can discharge it with him. And he does that a lot too. So if he chooses to shoot a load one day, like, it doesn't have the same effect on me it used to, but I had to work through like what I thought that meant. Like, I thought it meant something about me, like he didn't want me, or it wasn't what he wanted. He was just like, dude, I just want to jerk off. I love it. It's fun. So just elucidating a little bit on the personal side.
I aspire to be in a relationship where I can like just kind of go to the kitchen table, like pull up some porn and just start jerking off. Even my like partners in the other room watching TV, and like it not be like a thing. I always kind of felt like I had to sneak it around. Like, I would do it when he wasn't home, or like if he's at the gym or he's working, like I would sneak one in. But I would love to have kind of the openness. Yeah, it's an interesting question. It's complicated.
It is, and the relationships that we're in as adults are all mirrors of what we experienced as children. So think about maybe how it was to hide as a child, and every time we did that, it was a hidden thing. Or most of us, I don't know, everybody generalize here, but super secretive. And also one of the only times that guys can feel really uninhibited often. It's a space where it's like, no one's here to watch me. I can just be myself. So it's helpful to have compassion about that and be like, oh, like that's a space where someone can really feel like they're not inhibited. And so my goal is to not be inhibited. You know, I still have to work through all that stuff, but it's a time to just learn and communicate with each other about meaning.
And pull up familydick.com and rub one out. I'm going to send you all that video that I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
With your big boy underwear.
I know people comfortable about that.
It's iconic. It's iconic. And Matt, did you find that cat video?
I stopped looking. We'll bring it up for next week.
She's got no receipts. No receipts.
No, I know it's here. It's a lot to go through.
I know I mentioned it before on the podcast, and to anyone that's listening that ever has questions around sex and relationship, it's real. Like Esther Perel has a book called Mating in Captivity, and it's phenomenal, I think. And so it just helps answer a lot of those kinds of questions and give us like a pathway to start communicating about them and open up to our partners.
Finn, this could be a good concept for one of the videos in October. I guess it's not really necessarily on the theme that we discussed, but it's certainly one worth jotting down, something around like jerking off all your partners around and like playing with it.
Yeah.
See, this is how the magic happens, guys.
It is. You have to start bringing in that whatever doesn't exist between your boyfriend and you bring it into the relationship to strengthen the sex. So even if that's bringing it in through like a third, or if they're just talking fantasy or starting to play with each other's fantasies, you know, I like to think about stuff like that, and I want to send my partner on assignments, you know, to do things for me actually. So it's like playing with his desires, but into my own sense of security too, and I get to get off on that.
Yeah. All right, future video ideas happening right now. All right, well, you guys have anything else, or can we wrap it up?
I'm good. I'd like to see a puppy pack now, though, video.
Special. We're taking requests. Well, then you should write that for a video.
A puppy pound.
Like you go to the adoption center, the puppy adoption center.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do it.
All right. So next week we are going to talk about jock, fraught, piss, and it is going to be with the guys from the podcast Gayish. So you guys won't be here next week, which is very sad, but I'll still be here, and we're going to have some great special guests, so you guys can enjoy your Thursday evening.
I'm stoked about the video.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So in the meantime, make sure you join us on Himeros.tv with a 20% discount at Himeros.tv/pod. It's HIMEROS.tv/pod. Consider it all the way to the end of this episode. So thank you to Matt and Finn. Finn, where can people find you?
Go to finndeerhart.com, FINNDEERHART. Or I've rebranded my other site, queerconnect.love.
Queerconnect.love. So cute. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And as always, more to come.